By the last couple of weeks, we learned how to create a value like that. And we learned how to print the value similar to this. And how we can run them in the terminal by writing Python space the folder name .py and run it. And also we learned how to create a variable, because till now, the only thing we've been doing is displaying on the screen, and then there's nothing in the memory. So we learned how to create variable. So let's call the variable x, and I can put the value inside x, and I can print the variable using the print statement in the x, while creating a box in the memory that's labeled x, and then there is a word inside it, or a value inside it. So if we pay attention here, the type of the value is a string. How did I know that? From the quotation that I can see them. But this information, it's something hidden, because this application is showing us what exactly is happening in the memory. But when we work in the terminal, we don't really know this information. So how to know the type of a variable in peeking into the memory using an app or a website or a browser similar to that one. To do that, there's an existing function that you can use it, or existing command, which is called type. So if you come here and you write type, and you're going to print that, missing E, and you're going to print that, it's going to print for you the type of the string. So the format to use this command is to write the word type, and then you will put the brackets, and then inside the brackets, you're going to pass a variable. So here, I will pass the variable, which is an X. So variable. So you will put the keyword type, all lowercase, open and close brackets, and a variable inside. So 3 different things that you need to put them together to be able to get the type of any variables you have. So why do we care about the type? Here, where we're going to introduce a new command or a new feature in Python, which is reading an input. Till now, everything we've been doing is we've been creating values, and we're doing some operation in the values, and we've been sending them out on the screen. So when you have a program, it should be 2 ways. It should be output and it should be input as well. So as an example, if you have an application that will ask you what is your name or enter a number, so there should be a command that are able to take the number and the value from the screen and store it in the memory, or bring it in the memory. And then there's an existing one, the command called input. So the command is the keyword input. Then you're going to open and close a parentheses, and then inside it, you'll have a string, and the string will include the question or the message you want to display on the screen. So this is the structure in the command. If you're going to take this one and you're going to print that, or run the command, what exactly is going to happen? It's going to go through the command, and then this command is telling the terminal, print a question, print something on the screen, ask the user for input. So here you will have a prompt question where the question is here. It will be displayed in some text box for you to provide the input. So as an example, I will put a message, and then when I click submit, it's going to take the input from the screen and it's going to return it. But as you can see here, I don't see any other box in the memory to store whatever input I pass through the terminal, the prompt, which is message. So think a little bit. Why did that happen? So looking again at number 5, number 5 is asking you to print on the screen a message and to get the value. But there's nothing here telling the terminal to store the information. As I mentioned before, when you code, you will code line by line, and each line going to give a specific instruction. So this instruction has nothing here that's going to mention or command the terminal to store the value. To do that, if you remember, when we create a variable, we have a label or variable name, okay? And then you will have equal sign, and you will have some value. This is the command to create a box and a place in the memory. So how we can use this and put it in this syntax? It's easy. So the first thing you're going to need is to create a box in the memory. Let's call it a message. And then we will put the equal sign, and then we're going to pass all that here. So now I created a box, and I created a prompt message that it's going to read from the terminal, and then it's going to store the message here. Let's delete that, the one on the top, so it can be faster, and I'll run this one. So here, it's printing the message, which is question, and then it's asking us for an input. So let's say I'm going to put 100, and when I click submit, I'm creating a box in the memory, and the box in the memory has the value 100. Okay, that's cool. So now, this is how we store the information from the user. Okay, so what is the current type of the value in the memory? So I have 100, and I can see the 100 there. If you said it's numerical, think again. But if you said it's a string, that is correct. So whatever you're going to pass through the input, or whatever the input function is going to bring from the terminal side, from the keyboard side, it's always a string. Whatever you're going to type, it's always going to be passed as a string. Okay, so how exactly we going to solve this problem? Like, I want to have a number so I can do some operation. So going back to the type. So if you have the type, you will be able to know what is the type. But there's also another command that can convert those types. So for now, we have type string, we have type integer, we have type float. This is what we introduce. And if you remember, string that has like the quotation, let's assume like 5, integer would equal number 5, and float would equal maybe 5.5. So we have those types. So you can convert whatever input to any of those types. As an example here, if I'm gonna change my message, I would say enter a number, okay? And then let's take that one down. enter a number, and then, as I mentioned, when you read that first, it's going to be a string. Just let's double check to make sure you know that. So here, enter a number. I will put number 5. When I click submit, I'm creating the box that's called message that has 5. So now we want to start converting the string, the input string. We want to convert that into an integer. How to do that? You're going to take the message and you're going to pass it to the function that's going to convert, which is called int. So we have a function that will convert this one, which is the value that is a string, into integer. And so I can also see what is going to happen in the memory. I'm going to store the information in the memory. Okay, so now I created another variable. I call it integer, and I am passing the value and the string value, and I'm converting that into integer. So again, let's run that. I'm passing number 5, and I'm creating here 5 and here 5. So the command to convert or cast the type from one format to another format, in this case it's a string, to integer, it would be int, and then you will have also the brackets, and inside it you need to put either string value or even some float if they don't have like a fraction. Okay, so this is how we convert from string into integer. What if I want to convert from string to float? It would be the same. Let me comment this one. It would be the same. I will come here, and instead of putting int, I will put the keyword float, and I will take the string. So this one is generating number 5. So here, if I'm going to run this one, and I'm going to pass 5, and I'm going to click submit, you can see here it's 5.0. So this one, I converted the string into float, and it's stored in the memory 5.5. If I run them all, and I'm passing 5, you can see here, the first one is a string 5, the second one is an integer 5, and the third one is a float 5. So by having the keyword float, integer, or string, you can convert if you did the correct grammar. Okay, so perfect. Now you know how to convert from one value to another value, specifically the strings, into those other values. Okay, what if I want to do the opposite? What if I want to like convert float to string? Okay, how to do that? It's the same. I will call it a message2, and in message2, I'm going to convert a string into a float. And here I have this one as a string, and I want to, a float into a string. So I will have this float number. Okay, so here I have this one, which is a float number. To convert that into a string, I'm going to use the keyword string, str, and then I will pass that. So here, let's pass 5. Okay, so you can see here first, I read the word as a string, and then the second one is converting that into integer. The third one is converting that into a float. So now I'm taking the float one, and I'm converting that into a string. So string, integer, float, string. But you notice it's like in the float syntax and grammar where you can see .0. Okay, so you're going to need to use that when you read an input from the user and you want to display the output, or you want to do some calculation. Because if you're going to read a value, let's assume you're reading this, and I want to do operation, okay, and where I'm going to take this value, and then I will multiply, I will divide that by 2, okay, and then I want to print the result. So now we have a lot of variables. I chose one of those variables. If you don't really know what is the format, you might get an error. So let's see here. If I have number 5 and I submit that, let's go back. Let's see, number 5 in the memory, it's a string. And then I've been creating those. So I have all those variables. And here I am going to get the value from the message string, which is this one. And this one is a string, even without me printing the cast, because I can see the memory, divided by 2. So here where it's going to give you an error, because you can't really do an operation over a string. That's why you need to convert that into an integer or a float. So let's go here. So now I have the result, which is 2.5. So this is how you solve this kind of problems. If you get an error and the error is telling you to convert the type, or there's an error with a type, you need to convert the type to the right format. Okay, so now we're done from converting from type to type, and we're done from printing and identifying what is the current type. And as I want to remind you, if you're doing a math operation, so let's say this is called M1, and you're adding 1 plus 1, the M1 will always equal, let me just delete the one on the top. If you're adding integer to integer, and if you're adding integer to a Boolean, and if you're adding Boolean to a Boolean, and if you're adding string to a string. So for now, we're only here using the same type, here we're using the same type, and here we're using the same type. And this one, we're trying to combine, different type. So let's see what would be the answer if we are combining similar type. So the first one, when you combine two similar type or try to add them, it's because they are integer and they are numerical, it's going to apply the math operation. So the result is 2. So here it's exactly the same syntax, the same structure. The only different things is the type. So if I have 5 plus 5, the plus will act as a concatenator. It's not going to act as a plus. It will consider concatenating the two strings. So if you have multiple strings and you have plus between them, this is what's going to happen. They will be concatenated. What about the third one? If you're adding float to the float, you will have a float. And if you're adding integer into a float, it will always be a float. So try to refresh your memories because we're going to have a question similar to that in the exams. Okay, so now you know how to create a variable, you know how to cast and change the type, you know how to read from the user input. So let's take more examples on how to read from the user input. So here I'm going to read a name from the user. Let's say the name, so I will write the format. The name is a string, so I'm just directly going to put the input, and then I will put enter your name. Okay, and then when I run that and I write my name and I print that, you can see here that I'm printing the message and I'm printing my name, but I don't really like it where like it's not like user friendly where my name is and the name are like stick next to each other. So I want to add some space. So where to add the space? So the message that it's been appear, it's end up with no space. So if I come here and I add a space, this is how I can have a better layout. Okay. That's a good way to fix the layout, but also now I have like this input. I have the name, and I want to also print the name into the terminal using this variable. So during the first 2 weeks, we've been using the print command. Now we're going to introduce another fancier print command. The print commands can change between years to years, like Python, they keep evolving. So first it was like a print, and then they did like a print.format, and now the new one called printf. Okay. So the syntax for printf, and now I will tell you why we're going to use it. So you will write the print, the normal print, but inside, and instead of just like writing the value or information between quotation, you're going to add f. F mean you can have variables inside. So as an example here, I can combine without needing the plus to concatenate. I can combine. So here I would say hello, okay, and then I want to pass the variable name. So I will put the curly brackets, to open and close curly bracket, and inside it, I will have the variable name. So let's run that. So here, if I'm going to put my name, and I will submit that, and then I'll click run. Hello, Safia. So that's cool. We can have my name here. Also, you can reuse the same variables multiple times. So here I put it one time. If I want to add it another time, but I want to do it in a new line, I would say name, which is whatever variables I'm passing here, is cool. Okay, so let's run that. And then let's click run. So hello, Safia. Safia is cool. You can see that here. Okay, so this is one of the things that you can use with the printf, where you can have multiple variables name. So I can have like an age, and I can read also the age. I can put inputs, and I will put enter your age. And if you're paying attention enough, you would figure out what would happen now. If I change this variable into age, she is age years old. Okay. So if I'm going to run that, for the first one, I'm writing my name. For the second one, I'm writing my age, and I'm lying, I'm not 18, but I will put 18. When I click submit, my 18, it's not number, it is a string. So here, let's assume if I'm going to come here and I want to like make myself 1 year younger by doing my -1, this is going to crash. Not because of the format, because I'm trying to take 1 from a string, and that's not allowed. So how to solve this problem? The cast. We need to come here. We need to cast everything here because everything here is the value. And then when I run my code, I will put my name, and then I will put 18. It's going to come and it's going to process, and it's going to make me 17. Yes, I am 17 today. So 2 things I introduce here. First, you can make an operation and a process between the curly brackets. So here, you can keep the age. You can do any operation. We can have like 4 multiplied by 3, or if I have a variable that's called z, and z will equal 4, I can even have another example. I can have another one, and here I will have z multiplied by z. It's cute. So having Safia, and I'm today 18, but the terminal loves me and going to make me 17. And then you can see here, we did all the operation. We did the first one, which is the 18. I removed the -1, and then we did the multiplication. And it's gave you the result of the multiplication. And here, it's gave you the result of multiplying the variable by itself. So again, what we can do with the printf, we can print variable. That's number 1. In fact, we can print multiple variables. That's number 2. We can do operation. That's number 3. And there's also one more thing. Everyone loves makeup. Everyone wants to be fancy. Everyone want to have some nice layout. Print or Python also the same. So if we want to change the layout of the outcome, let's assume we have a number, and the number is pi. Let me cheat. What is pi? Okay. So let's say we have this number here, and I want to print I will use the printf. So from now, every time I'm asking you to use a print, always remember you need to use a printf. So here I want to print the pi. So I will come here, I will have the curly brackets, and I will put the variable name inside, and I will say pi equal, okay, and then I want to print that. So it's giving me the full number, but like we need some makeup here. Like this is too long. We need to make it shorter. Here we're going to use a specific syntax that's called format, or that's going to do the format for you. The syntax to format a number, okay, is by having the variable you want to format, and then you will put a colon. After putting a colon, you can put a dot, and then how many digits you want after the colon, and then the word f. So let's have that here. As we said, colon, dot, I want 2 digits, and the f. So the keyboard's f and the colon and everything else, it should be fixed. So let's print that. So here, now we rounded up, or we formatted to have only 2 digits. And because here it's 1, it's when it's rounded up, it will take it to the next floor. But if this one is 9, I'm ruining the pi. If this one is 9, it will round it up. Okay, so let's fix that because I'm insulting the math. So this is the rounding. So what if I want to round it to 3 digits? So remember, colon, dot mean whatever after, and then 2 mean 2 digits. So this one will be changed to 3, and now I can have 3 digits. What if it's 5 digits? It's the same. You're going to come here, you're going to modify this part, and then when you click next, you will see the 5 digits. What if it's 0 digits? What does that exactly mean? So am I going to find like .0, or it would be like only 3, or it's going to be 3.0? What exactly would happen? So if you put .0, it will print the result as an integer. It will keep the format as a float, but it will print the result as an integer, similar to this one. Okay. So now you know how to format and add some makeups to some numbers, and the numbers is happy right now because you can format it. What if I have like a bigger number? Like let's say you have some money here, and then the money is like, I am very, very rich person, so I have this amount, and I have this fraction, and I want to print that. So you go here. Let's comment that. So let's have another print statement. And as remember, to do the printf, you will put the word f and then the quotation, and then whatever in between, you're gonna start writing. So putting the curly brackets, and I would say my money equals, okay, and I will have the money. So now I have this money, but still like I look like poor. It doesn't give me the feeling this is money. So you know what I can do? I can add a $sign, but what exactly I would add the $sign? Is it like next to the variable? Is it after the variable? Is it before the variable? Think for a second. If you said it's before, that is correct. So let's have the $sign here. Now this is going to give me the vibe of the rich person, but it's still like I need to make it fancier. So how about we add comma? So what would be a good place to add a comma? First, I don't want to have like all those fractions. I only want to show the dollars because I'm not that broke to show the fraction. So I'm okay with like 3 fractions. Okay, and let me run that. So see here, now I only have 3, but still like I can make it better. So what if I want some commas after every 3 digits? Should I add the comma here? Should I add the comma here? Should I add the comma here? Okay, let's try something. So I will put the comma before the dot because the comma belongs to the first part before the dot. So this is the dot. Whatever before the dots will have a comma, so this is why you're going to use the comma here, and it will enhance the format, and it will enhance the readability. So this is how you handle money. So now you have the vibe of a rich person. Whatever money or amount or numbers we're going to give you, remember the vibe of a rich person. If you're a rich person, round it up, add a comma, add a dollar sign, and this is the format how to use it. Adding to the prints, so we did a great job with the numbers. Now the string is jealous because the string, like you've been like putting makeups and enhancing the output of the numbers. Like what about the strings? Okay, let's go for a string a little bit. We can also play with the strings, and we can like concatenate the string by taking like a part of the string. As an example, we have a message, and the message is saying, hello, me, okay? So I really love my name, and I only want to have my name printed. I don't want to print everyone else. I just want to print myself. Okay, what exactly I need to do? Remember, we're going to do the printf, and then here you can have the message inside, and then this way, like when you print it, it's going to give you everything. But this is not what I'm trying to aim. I only want my name, so what should I do? Okay, so here we're going to introduce the concept that's called slicing, okay? So what exactly is a slicing? Slicing means we're going to go over this is string, and we're going to treat this is string as each letter by itself. Imagine you have a box of cookies, Oreo cookie, and then there's some cookies on the first row, there's some cookies on the second section, there's some cookies on the third. And if I'm telling you, give me the cookies, like the third cookies, you can go to the box and you can count 1, 2, 3, and you can pick up the cookies. It's the same here. So if we go to this is string, okay, and each of those strings, they have like a position. So let's put some comment here. So this is position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, 5, and then there's a space, let's have space, dash, and there's S, F, I, K. So the slicing method or the slicing technique, it would be, you're going to have the variable name, okay, the message or the variable name, and then you're going to have square brackets, and then you're going to put 2 information here. So 1, 2, and then there's like a third one. So you're going to put 2 column. This column is dividing that into 3 sections. Section 1, section 2, and section 3. So this function it can accept 3 parameters, 1 and 2, 3. If you keep it empty, it will take the default. But first, what are exactly those sections? The first one is where you want to start. You want to start from the first one. You want to start from the fourth one. It's like I'm telling you, go to cookies number 4 and start from there. So the first one is the start one. So this is called this one is called the start. Okay. And then the second one, let's guess. So if I know where to start, what do you think like the second one would be? Or even like the third one? Like if we're starting from place, it would not make sense to know where we stop. So the second one would be where you want to stop. So start, stop. That's mean HELLO. Start, stop. LO space S. It's where you want to start, where you want to stop, and how you're going to take it. There's also like one fancier thing. It's called stepping. What does that mean? So it can be like picky. Instead of like taking everything in sequence, you can tell it's like, what is the sequence? So instead of saying like take every single letter, you can say like take every 2 letters. So if you're here, say like I will skip 2 and then I will take 1. I will skip 2 and then I will take 1. So stepping is like how many steps you're going to take your string. Let's have some examples now. So this is my message. It's called message. Okay. And this is the bracket similar to what I said. And I said I will take from number 1. And then if you remember when I told you if you leave it empty, it's going to pick the default. The first one, if you leave it empty, that means start from the first position. The second one, if you leave it empty, that means end in the last position. This one, if you leave it empty, that means take by 1. So when I run that, okay, what exactly did, it's to print out the string message for me. Okay, so I should not add a spaces here because that will change. Okay, let's leave, So let's copy that one. Okay. Okay, so this is the string here, the real one without the spaces, because if I add the spaces, that's mean I am adding more cookies in the box, and that's not correct indices. Okay, so here, if I'm going to bring everything, I'm printing my hello world. But if I'm going to say take the first one, from the first one to the 5 to the 5th one, let's see what exactly going to be the output. You can see here, I did not start from the first one. I start from the second one. Why? Because we are very picky. People in computer science and the computer are very picky. We don't believe in 1, we believe in zeros. So we start our counters from 0. So if you're playing hide and seek and you're going to tell us like start counting, we say 0, 1, 2, because we don't start from 1, we start from 0. So going back here, and instead of 1, we replace that with zeros. So our counter always starts from 0. So let's start from 0, let's execute, and now I have my first letter appeared if you start from 0. Okay, so I want you to pay attention to something here. I said number 5, and if I go here and I check number 5 is a space. And there's no space here. The last letter is an O. So what really happened, I stopped on number 4. This is another thing, another technique. So here, like remember, the start will start from 0, and the end or the stop is exclusive. What exclusive mean? Whatever value you're going to put here, it's going to skip the last one. So if you have 6 here, okay, if you have 6 here, when you run it, we're going to skip the 6. We're going to skip the 6. So it's going to give you a space. Okay, let's change it to something makes more sense. Let's go with 8. Okay, if we go with 8 and we run that, so number 8 is the F, and then we're skipping that. So start from 0, end with skipping the last one, and then finally, let's talk about the last one. If I will step by 2, and here I want to just like do it for all. When I run that, it will take the first one, and then skip by 2, and then take the second one, and then skip, and then skip by 2. So I will take this one, I will skip this one, I will take this one, I will skip this one, I will take this one, I will skip this one, and so on, and this is the output. Because we love complication in computer science, because it's fun and we're cool, we decided to have another indices. So in fact, that's just going to make your life easier in a lot of things where you're going to, like from practice, you're going to feel it. So here we have our beautiful indices, but we want to make things harder. So we decided to have our own negative indices. And because they are negative indices, you're not going to start the negative indices from here. So those are like... Okay, just double checking. So we have also minus indices. What does that mean? So if I want to print my name here, okay, which is like starting from like the S, if I'm going to come here and I want to start from like -5 till the end, let's see what is going to be the output. Ta-da! It's exactly the same. So if you put the positive indices or you put the negative indices in the right position, you can get exactly the same result. So let's take another example. So I want to print LO, okay, so I will put -10 here. And then I want the double L, so I will stop on -7. Okay, and I'm just like doing the correct stepping, so I get it. Okay, what if I came here and I said, like, I want to minus a stepping? What do you think the result going to be? Nothing. Because what exactly is happening, it's coming here on the 10, and then it's going from here to here, and then there's like no letters between these and these in the back. So what if I decided to just go backward using the minus? Well, I already said it, but still I'm going to show you. So if you run it here, okay, if you run it here, you can see that it's printing everything backwards. So you're going to have a lot of those questions. So how you tackle those questions, when you have a question similar to that, start putting them in the table, each letter in a cookies box. We put them like the positive indices and the negative indices, and then try to see what is the best and more efficient cuts or slice. And this way where you can have the slice.
I'm a pancake. I'm a pancake. I'm a pancake.